with the very successful launch of Crusader Kings 3, it's finally time to do the Paradox tradition. In come the DLC. So the first DLC, Crusader Kings Northern Lords, which I erroneously referred to as both Horse Lords and Norse Lords, in two separate recordings of this video and made me have to do this again, twice, is the first one of what they're calling flavor packs. These seem to be more like Stellaris' species packs, which is to say, it brings some graphical updates to certain cultures, give them some new outfits and that kind of thing, but also brings some minor gameplay changes, unique to the culture it focuses on, which is a lot better in my opinion than how it used to be for Crusader Kings 2, where you had separate unit skin packs, and the smaller cultural updates mostly came with the bigger expansions. Northern Lords of course focuses on the Scandinavian factions, Sweden, Denmark and Norway. Although you can use the customizations for anything and you can convert to any culture or religion in the game, so you can pretty much use these on any faction if you will. Immediately noticeable will be some of the graphical updates. There's some added hairstyles and beards and clothing for the Norse cultures. I think they'll look pretty good. I think the added clothes, beards, hairstyles, etc. do a great job of distinguishing the Norse factions from the Central and West Germanic factions, and some of them really do look very good. With this also came a selection of new tracks, meant to inspire a very Scandinavian feel. Now, I don't mince my words when I say these new tracks are excellent. They're on par, if not better than some of the best tracks from Crusader Kings 2, which is something that I brought up in my original review on Crusader Kings 3. That while the music was good, there weren't any tracks on par with Crusader Kings 2. Just have a listen at some of this. I mean, if that doesn't make you want to storm the shores of England, I don't know what will. But I did say that unlike in the past, this is more than just a graphical and audio update, and indeed it is. You also got a new selection of thematic decisions for Norse cultures involving raising runestones and holding a great blot. You also got a new selection of Empire and Kingdom level titles to chase by special decision, such as the High Kingdom of the North Sea, to go along with the weather changes made by the free update, seeing as how winter is now a thing and a lot of places will change to be covered in snow and snowstorms during the winter months. Norse cultures also got a selection of new men-at-arms, which generally to my mind seem better than the existing ones in almost every way, on top of having cold weather adaptation, so they're quite good. They also added two new dynasty cultures exclusively for the Norse cultures, Adventure and Pillage. In my playthrough of this, I focused mainly first on Pillage. The pillaging game has always been a fun thing to do as a tribal culture, and the pillage tree basically turns it into a license to print money, even more than it used to be. It's now a license to print both money and prestige. The new Varangian adventure that they've added, which is basically you as the Lord of the Realm concentrates a force to invade a different realm, and you swap your entire realm to that realm, and you lose your original. It basically gets divided up between your family. Now, I found less of a practical application for this, at least in the way that I generally play Crusader Kings, because it'll take you a very long time to amass the kind of force to really make a gain out of that. It would make more sense if you're earlier in the game and you start as a small vassal under somebody else, and you say want to move your realm over and you choose a Varangian adventure against somewhere in Ireland, for example. Finally, some smaller things. They added in a poetry system. And I'm willing to admit that it's very amusing to stress somebody out to death by writing them bad poetry. It is absolutely excellent to scan the map for your enemies and try to figure out what stress level they're at, and then write them bad poetry just to send them that bit over the edge. It is hilarious every time, and I'm so glad this is here in the game. And finally, I have to bring it up just because I think I specifically mentioned this in the Crusader Kings 3 video. They did bring back the Shield Maiden title. You can now assign Shield Maiden to women of your family with 12 prowess or more, which is a very welcome feature. These little flavor titles, I think, go a long way to help making certain individuals feel more special over others. So that's that for the first Crusader Kings 3 flavor pack then. I think this is a pretty positive start. It has a lot of good stuff in it, especially if you like to play the Nordic factions. Is it worth it for you personally though? At $7 US. If you play the Norse factions, yeah, it's totally worth it. It's a great bit of flavor. But it does come down to the classic Stellaris thing for this. If you don't intend to play a Plantoid in Stellaris, you probably won't buy the Plantoid pack. If you intend to play a Scandinavian faction in Crusader Kings 3, you can't really go wrong with buying this one. Crusader Kings 3 The Northern Lords is available on Steam for $7 US. I'm John, thanks for listening. So long.